Yes, I have returned. I know you're probably upset about it, but there is. You know, I'm
There's
kind
nothing
of
we can do
like
about it.
I'm kind of like AIDS. You know, you can't cure it, you can't get rid of it, but you just learn to live with it through medication.
Moo has the itch that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
you're more like toe fungus. I mean, AIDS is a bit over
Well,
dramatic.
okay. Well, thank you.
I don't think you could die from this program, but well,
Yeah,
Sam
but you
might
could be annoyed.
Vince Martini.
But you can tell that I'm the virus because I haven't
Oh.
lost any weight.
I can see my comment on stage.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very
People type their
interesting.
comments. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're doing now for people who are, nobody's watching right now because
Yeah, just
I've taken
me
so
and-
much time off, but
no one cares.
no, not really. But yeah, there's a new thing that you can actually show people's comments right on the screen. You see? And there's Ron
everybody's
Leffman.
good.
Yeah, that's right. So there you have it. Today,
You are the luckiest man on the face.
Yeah, I was reading about Lou Gehrig. It's interesting that you would bring him up.
Yes.
There is a real odd coincidence in this man's life.
Okay.
I looked up his stats because I was really curious. How quickly did he drop off?
Bit like Lane Thomas.
Yeah,
that was a penguin laugh there.
That's the sick laughter. Yeah. So what we had was in 1937. He was great.
He was great.
In 1938, he had an off year for him. He only hit 295.
Correct.
All right. But he was hitting like 350, 360. I mean, it was unbelievable the way this guy was hitting. He dropped to 295 and he dropped to like 27 home runs or 29 home runs for the season. And he was before hitting, 46. He came out for 1939.
Yeah.
And he, within, I want to say, a couple weeks of the season.
Yeah, it was like April.
It like crushed him like a bug. All right.
Yeah.
And the thing, I never understood why they didn't diagnose him as having Lou Gehrig's disease. Because it's so obvious.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah.
Hello, I could have had a V8. I mean, but unfortunately,
no.
So, but the story of him is legendary. Poor Wally Pipp. Wally Pipp was the first baseman who kind of dogged an injury a little bit, and a young player named Lou Gehrig was waiting for his turn.
Yeah.
He got his chance, and Wally Pipp never played first base again for the New York Yankees, right? So it became known if somebody's getting ready to take your place, like for instance, if Shadur Sanders, could Wally Pipp Joe Flacco, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, it could. So that was the first time they intersected. When he gave his, I'm the luckiest man in the world. I just can't feel my legs. All right, you remember that was a big speech. They had a bunch of people. Not only there, like 67,000 people in the stands. But Wally Pipp was there too.
Oh, wow.
Right? Which was the second convergence. The other was the day Lou Gehrig died was on the same date that he Wally Pipped Wally Pipp.
Wow.
Now, what are the odds of that being the case?
Oh, no. Let's ask Tony the Calf. He would know that.
Yeah. So, and so you can see all the comments now running on the side of the screen. So,
be careful what you post because it'll be on YouTube, I guess.
And I can accentuate, Rick May.
Ooh, big word, SAT word. Accentuate.
Yeah. So there it is. Norm from Cheers and
it's like from PCOD was involved, but
and you know that Morgan Freeman's 88 years old. Did you know that Barbara Eden is 94 years old?
Wow.
She can't get out of the fucking bottle.
No.
Yeah, you'll just have to look it up. These types of
I
references.
dream of her.
Yeah. No, you dream of the way she used to be. You don't want to see her now.
No, I don't.
So, but I thought that was really interesting as far as Lou Gehrig was concerned. But yeah, it's so everybody was talking about ALS, and I found out something else. An Indians pitcher of the past. Do you remember Jim Poole?
Yes, from the 1990s, 2000s. Yes.
Yes, and no, he actually pitched in the World Series in the '95 series.
Yeah,
for the Indians. He died of ALS.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And yeah, his last words were, "My name's not Lou Gehrig." And that was it.
Wow.
That was it.
Everybody's dead.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood is 95.
Oh, Dick Van Dyke's older than that.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke, but he doesn't dance anymore. No,
he does.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't.
He's really gone downhill pretty quick. I mean, he doesn't make solo appearances anywhere. His wife, who's like 50 years younger than he is, quite literally, attends to him, and he has to sit. He has trouble walking now.
Wow.
So, but I thought it would be a great thing to have him come out on stage, and you'd have like an ottoman or something in the middle of the room that he could trip over, just like he did in the beginning of his show. And he would break like 12 bones, and that would be that. So, yeah, exactly, David. Exactly. Yeah. We can't forget Joe Table.
We're going to have to upgrade the quality of the messages on here if they're going to be on the stage. I mean, people are going to have to try harder.
Yeah. Oh, look what it is. My friend, Paramjot.
Wow.
People want to trade Darius. The likes of Alex Caruso or TJ McConnell is hilarious. Well, TJ McConnell, I mean,
he's Sam Merrill, only a little bit faster.
No, he doesn't shoot the three nearly as well as Sam, but he's a pest. He's a pest. He's more like
Dellavedova, but without the shooting ability.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people just saying all kinds of shit. Where I wanted to start the program today is this whole Shedeur Sanders thing is beginning to look like a real clusterfuck to me. And Kevin Stefanski came out and made a comment that Shedeur Sanders was taking reps after hours, in essence, when nobody was watching him do it.
All right. He was doing secret repping.
Yeah. I don't know what would make Stefanski say this, and don't you love these? This is coming from...
now that's on here.
Oh, God.
Hey, friend.
Hey, friend.
Fuck you.
We know
me now for more information.
We know straight away it's not a real person because you don't have any friends. So anyway, there you go.
I think it's funny. Should I star him? Hey, friend.
Hey, friend. Ellie.
Do make it stop. So see, David's already clicked it. He's like, oh boy, titties. Yeah.
I'll be back.
We'll be back to pick you up later.
But the more I think about the Cleveland Browns, the more mind-boggling this thing is. And Talevsky, I mean, Jalen Suggs is hurt. He's hurt more often than Darius Garland, and he can't shoot. Fuck that shit. The overreaction of, we need defensive players. We need defensive players. You're not going to beat the Indiana Pacers if you
No.
only score 106 points a game. Got it?
Yeah, you might win one game out of 5.
Yeah,
You
so
score
foolish.
106.
Yeah. So,
Oh, wow.
at any rate, the whole Sanders thing is making less and less sense. First of all, you've got Joe Flacco. Second of all, you've got Pickett. Then you've got the guy they drafted in the 3rd round. Then you've got Shedeur.
That complete unknown guy.
Yeah. And a lot of people have been mentioning that the reps don't seem to be going Shedeur's way.
Oh, okay.
That he's not getting a fair share as it was. And I don't understand why people get so uptight about that, because he was a 5th round guy and nobody wanted him in the league. So,
oh, wow.
At any rate, so Stefanski steps up and he goes, he's been getting mystery reps. You just haven't seen them. They're ghost reps. And
you need a voice for Stefanski now, because you were sort of like going to do a voice. You need
you know?
Yeah, you need a voice for him. All these years he hasn't had a voice.
God. What? I'll have to come up with something for him, because he's just...
You need like an Ivy League voice.
Yeah.
But not quite so billionaire-ish.
Not so much Thurston Howell.
But more like...
it would be kind of...
Well, more like Dan Rather.
He's going to use large vocabulary.
Yeah.
He's going to expedite his comments in such a way that will leave nobody in doubt that he is an Ivy League graduate.
Liar. Yeah, Ivy League liar.
So the ghost reps. And the thing that makes this really ridiculous is, I have this story up here somewhere, I think. Joel Bitonio, and this is all put together with Shedeur Sanders, okay? Headline: Browns guard Joel Bitonio is back and ready to pave the way for a return to a powerful running game. Now listen to this.
Whoa.
Now listen to this. Talking about bringing up more questions than there are answers. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski joked on Monday morning that it was the team's golf simulator that brought veteran left guard Joel Bitonio back for another season. He didn't entirely disagree. Early in the offseason, I was in the team facility, Bitonio said, and I was kind of working out and playing golf, and Kevin would walk by and say, "A perfect walk ruined."
He would, yes.
As he would, I could talk, uppity talk, 1-3. I'm looking at a 1-4 offense, 4 tight ends.
Maybe like a Gregory Peck sort of voice, I think would be good for Stefanski.
A Gregory Peck voice. I guess the thing we have to do is a 1-4 offense. That doesn't sound Ivy League, though. No, it does not.
No, it doesn't. No.
So it wasn't the golf simulator that brought him back. All right. Bitonio, and it's funny because I had this whole story up, but I'm not going to be able to exactly quote him because I managed to find a wormhole through their paywall for a moment. But Bitonio said it's going to be great to be back in the offense. It's so much like Kevin in his early years.
Oh, Kevin, the early years. Wasn't that like the Wonder Years?
Yep. What would you do with the same attitude? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Yeah.
The Wonder Years.
Yep. Exactly. The early years of Kevin Stefanski. It's like, so we're regressing to an offense that everybody
bad.
knows that the team felt they had to change because everybody had caught up to it, and Baker Mayfield wasn't doing well anymore.
Yeah.
Hello, McFly.
It worked for about 8 games. Yeah.
But that's all Kevin Stefanski knows. And somewhere, Ken Dorsey is saying, fuck you. Fuck you, you goddamn fucking piece of shit. Why did you waste my time? You know.
Yeah, he's out taking samurai sword classes.
Unbelievable. I mean, to me, it's like, so now we're regressing. So here are my questions, which I think are reasonable questions.
You got more questions than answers, don't
Yes. Question A. If it was such a good offense, why did we move away from it? The answer?
Oh, no.
Jimmy Haslam and his fetish for Deshaun Watson. All right. Yep. And Deshaun was making a hell of a lot more money than Kevin.
He was.
No, I mean, seriously.
He still is.
I can't believe it. It's like a ladder. It's a ladder in here, and a black man's higher on the ladder than I am, and I have an Ivy League degree. And Deshaun is playing around with OnlyFans women. I don't get it.
There you go. I don't get it. Yeah.
So, sure enough, Baker Mayfield, who's half the fans still get an erection when you mention his name, he got hurt and everything went to hell, and then everything went to double hell. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
We found a new layer of hell last year.
Yep. So I'm like, why did we get rid of it? Well, because Jimmy Haslam was impulsive, like he always is. So now we're going to go back to it because Stefanski and his Ivy League buddies are saying to Haslam, see, we told you, all of your fucking analytics. Have you even heard anything about the analytics guy lately?
Oh, no. What? Depot, whatever his name is. Yeah.
Depot pedophile.
Oh,
Depot Desto.
Depot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Home Depot.
I have not heard his name spoken or uttered by any of the Cleveland coaches, management. I don't hear about that anymore.
He's been shunned, like those Amish people. They don't talk to them. Yeah.
Who knows who just is really just in the shits with Jimmy Haslam. It goes from week to week, month to month. So now we're going back, according to Joel Bitonio, that the offense is, the one he remembers that emphasizes a strong running game. And which will tell you that Nick Chubb must be in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Mark,
wheel me over.
He came out on the field in a Batman mask and broke a guitar for this organization.
He did.
And this is what we get. And you know what's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
They're going to bring him back to the stadium, and they're going to do something ceremonial.
Ring of honor. Ring of honor.
And they're going to allow him to speak to the crowd, and he'll say, Today,
I'm the luckiest
man in the world.
Face of the world.
Yeah. And, Haslam will say, woohoo! I'll race you. I'll do a 40-yard race with you now, big boy. Woohoo! Great. So if we're going back to the offense that Kevin loved so much in his early tenure,
the early years,
then what fucking chance does Shedeur Sanders have?
None whatsoever.
The guy has never in his life run that offense with play action pass.
And he never will either.
Nope. What do you think he's doing off stage, off camera? Why is he getting these mystery reps?
Yeah, Lord, you have to take it from center, isn't he?
And fumbling him on the ground.
Fumbling him on the ground.
And trying to hand off to somebody and handing it off into their helmet and whatever the fuck, or trying to do play action passes. The ball slips out of his hand. Who in the hell knows? But that is the truth of it all. The truth of it all is that this whole Shedeur thing is a waste of my fucking time. Why do they have to pretend? Why did they draft him number 5? They had to know that it was going to be a play action based offense. They had to know that.
Yep.
So why?
Why? I don't know.
And this is why I say I've always have more questions than I have answers about this organization. It is no wonder that you've got Njoku, will be morphed into the blocking tight end. And then, no, I'm being serious. And then you'll have Fannin, who will be a guy who he'll become the new Harrison Bryant.
Or Burnage, whatever.
The alleged guy who, you remember Harrison Bryant, the guy who went to Boise State and
Boise.
Yeah, yep. He caught a bunch of passes against a bunch of farmers.
Yeah,
and so Fannin was whipping the ass of the Mac, whipping the llama's ass. Goodness gracious,
Gunga Galunga.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting silly today.
Hey, llama.
Hey, llama. How about
where's my
for
tip?
The effort? You'll get no money.
I got that going for me. I have eternal consciousness.
Yeah.
I got that going for me.
Got that going for me.
Yeah. So that's why all this talk about Shedeur Sanders doesn't make any difference to me, because the only people who really, it's Flacco who's going to start. Yeah. And go ahead.
Yeah, he is going to start.
And then you have Mary Kay Cabbagehead. Want to hear her headline?
Hall of Fame, Mary Kay Cabbagehead. Hall of Famer. You have to say the Hall of Fame bit.
Every time I see Hall of Fame and Mary Kay Cabbagehead, you know what I think of?
What?
Pretend I'm Mary Kay Cabbagehead, okay?
Okay.
All right. Wait, I got it. I've been having some problems with my arms and shoulders. Okay. Topaz is down here going, don't do that. Don't do that. That's really sexist. You're implying that the only reason she got in is she blew someone. That's exactly right, Topaz. I must have done that pretty good.
Oh, okay. Can I just interrupt very briefly and bring us back to the Kevin Stefanski early years? These are the tight ends he had. He had Farrell Brown and Demetrius Harris and Harrison Bryant, and it's just, and Khalil Hodge was on the team. That was a great offense, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that was the reason why it was dependent upon the running game, and we still have no receivers, let's be honest about it. And that has to just thrill Jerry Jeudy. Now, talking about something that will inspire him to greater things after he has his career season last year for a 3-14 team. It's like, oh, by the way,
we're going to run the ball more.
Get your dig patterns ready. Oh, my God. So Batonio's happy. Stefanski's happy. I'm a happy boy. And I don't know what DiPodesto is. And Jimmy Haslam is just, I don't know. He's like on The Price is Right. And it's like, or the Wheel of Fortune. Spin the big wheel. Like, woo! Let's see what comes up this year. Woo!
Or he's like Monty Hall in Let's Make a Deal, where he gets door number 3 and he's the one with the donkey and the goat in the showcase.
You know what it is? They come out week 1. You see their first offensive set, and it's yeah, exactly. Oh, God Almighty. So her headline is how Kenny Pickett has a tall order in beating out Joe Flacco for the starting job.
Beating off to Flacco.
Oh, God. Well, we have a kick.com viewer. Sorry about that. I don't mean to be like rude. Yes, I do. I do mean to be rude. People on kick.com are going to have to get accustomed to the fact that I am a fat 68-year-old guy who's obnoxious in so many different ways.
You are. Yeah. I can vouch for that. Can you vouch for that, Tony?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Isabella 3, don't punish me with brutality. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? You're supposed to jump in, guys.
Yeah. Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, that's right.
It's his month.
Kenny Pickett, if he beats out Joe Flacco, then one of two things happened. Flacco got hurt or he got hit by a bus or something like that.
That's never going to happen.
No, well, I mean, they should have him, in a crypt somewhere protecting him. But if Kenny Pickett would get playing time before the 3rd round pick, then something really wrong going on.
Yeah.
David Talevsky basically says,
"What is going on?"
I said, yeah.
He wakes up in the morning every day and gets really high.
Yeah.
And takes a deep breath. Yeah.
And look at this.
There you go.
Can't believe you're actually talking about the Browns. Yes, I am.
It's the guy from Long Play or Coldplay. That's the one.
Coldplay. Oh, look,
Martin.
I'm an illustrator. Do you need any eye-catching stuff for your channel?
Oh, you've already got all that shit.
Is there anything eye-catching about me except that your eye gets caught in such a way that it blinds you when you see me?
Yeah. You develop glaucoma from watching this program?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be it. Moohead Radio with a big picture of an eye that has glaucoma.
Or cataracts.
Yeah.
I'm prepared for this new kick.com thing. I'm prepared. I'm ready to roll.
Moohead Radio, Stevie Wonder's favorite program.
Everybody
Wonder
on
watches it.
kick.com is selling something. Do you notice that?
They are.
Yeah. It's
Are they
kind of
selling
like
massages? Just asking for a friend.
No, I was going to start broadcasting
Calm down, Deshaun.
to OnlyFans just to see, it's like, people, make comments, coming from OnlyFans. And I say, do you just dance on video or do you actually give head? What's the story? I'm in rare form today.
Yeah, you're a rare steak of a cow.
And there's a great attitude. The Browns are
now.
But that's what's up and coming.
That's the whole point.
But that's what our fall is going to be, and so I'm preparing everybody for this. And Chris wants to talk about that power lineup of the Guardians.
Wow.
I'll talk about them in a minute too. So they're on the list.
I
just wanted to say that
no way.
Honestly, Kenny Pickett, if he beats out the 3rd round pick, then we just wasted a 3 and a 5.
Correct. Because
that's what that amounts to.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that Kenny Pickett is going to be around. I think Kenny Pickett is going to be dangled in front of other teams.
Well, I mean, we could maybe get a 7th round draft pick for him. We did that for Charlie Fry. I'd say Pickett is about as good as Charlie Fry was.
Yeah. Charlie Fry never really played anywhere, did he?
I don't think so, no. Unless he played in China or somewhere.
I think he played with himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to do something in Toledo.
Yep. There must be a zip.
I should, yeah, he was Zip, but it was all in the MAC. It's the way I look at Toledo. It's a great town to get weighed in.
Yeah.
So where do we move from here? Somebody wanted to talk about the Guardians.
Where do we go from here?
Oh, before I do that, because it's talking about the Guardians is as non-productive as the offense. The Cavaliers are going to lose.
Oh my God!
For sure, they're going to lose one of their assistant coaches. Associate coach Johnny Bryant or assistant Jordan Ott. They're going to be hired by the Phoenix Suns. So, as a head coach,
they got that going for them.
Yeah, they have to inherit that mess.
Oh yeah, and by the way, you're starting over. I love that when it's like getting Kenny Atkinson in with the Nets. It's like, well, I got us up over 500. Oh well, we just got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And we're getting rid of you, Kenny.
Wow.
They killed Kenny.
They did.
You bastard.
And here's Mr. Talevsky. He wants to get in on the action.
Oh, he's all covered up by the comments now.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
but you can see through him. He's like the
amazing
X-ray man.
Yeah, you can see through him.
I am a transparent person, so...
God. So as far as the Guardians are concerned, a couple of things that are worth mentioning.
Are they?
No, they really are.
Are they really?
We have a bunch of pitchers guys like Logan Allen, who don't belong in the big leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, he just doesn't have the stuff, and he just gets cranked at. He makes it one time through the lineup, and then he gets bashed. I mean, every team he pitches against, he doesn't get out of the fourth inning. He's already up to 90 pitches. We have that. And Ben Lively's arm is no longer and probably never will be lively again. So that's gone. It was nice to see Gavin Williams actually throw a good game. Now, Gavin Williams is a guy who has big league stuff. The thing is, I think that Sasquatch, Carl Willis, is getting up in years, and maybe they should be looking to move on from him. I think that maybe suck the knowledge out of him, and
Well, I think Carl Willis, he must have a sex tape on the Dolans. He's been there so long. I mean,
call it Mary Kay Cabot and have her suck, and never mind.
Don't forget Terry Pluto.
Or no, is that Hoynes's new job?
Hoynesy.
God. So, but behind the scenes, not like Shedeur Sanders, but actually behind the scenes, Shane Bieber is getting ready and prepared in a week or so's time to make a start at AA.
Oh, wow.
And the word is he's throwing 92 to 94 miles an hour, but he's really worked on some pitches that he's working more on his changeup and changing speeds and doing things that might not hurt his arm, like maybe the splitter or the kind of movement that he had before. He's developed a different repertoire to protect his arm in his career. And I thought that's interesting. But for every good thing there is, and it's nice to see Class A is closing games again. A little bit of a rough outing last time for Hunter Gaddis, but and before that, the lefty. Heron. You can't throw a ball at all outside to Bo Naylor, because Bo Naylor, he has Lou Gehrig's disease. Okay. I'm serious. He reaches for everything, but he doesn't move his fucking body. I mean, you watch Salvi Perez play behind the plate, and I mean, he's a human shield. his whole body moves. We saw it in Cleveland. If you watch Sandy Alomar Jr. play, good defensive catchers. Hell, you even watch Hedges. Just don't watch him while he's hitting. He knows how to field his position. Bo Naylor is 0 for 18 in his last at bats. Okay,
for 18.
0 for 18. He sucks. He can't hit and he can't catch. Why? And they put money into him.
That's like ad man. What can you do?
Yeah. Well, what's so stupid about it is they always say, you know, we got to keep this guy in the minor leagues because we got to have control of him. Then they go off and they give this extra money to Bo Naylor, who can't hit to save his soul. He's never going to be any good. And it's just another waste of time. So we have starting pitchers who you have Gavin Williams, you got Shane Bieber, who will be eventually coming back up to the bigs, but you don't have the players that you used to have coming either early in the bullpen or your 4 and 5 guys are, you know, it wasn't like the good old days when you had a guy like, who would I pull out of my ass now?
Eddie
Carlos
Murray.
Carrasco, who was like a number 3 or 4 guy who could win at the time, right?
Yeah, now he's just a cancer. So, you know.
Yeah, well, it's to me a sad thing when you're a pitching-based organization and you keep drafting players and they don't make it to the big leagues because they're all hurt, you know.
Bad.
But I found out something today which really kind of blew me away. Stephen Kwan's having a really good season. He's batting like 318, and he's hit like, I want to say 6 home runs this year. You know, he's on pace to do what he usually does that way. He's not going to hit a ton of home runs, but he's going to be like a 12 to, home run guy, 12 to 15 guy. But it's going to be line drives. But he's hitting for average. But here's the problem. They did an analysis of his base running.
Yeah.
And he is in the bottom of the statistics in players willing to take an extra base, which means if he hits a ball in the gap, what used to be just like automatic. Yeah, I mean, Kwan would just go. He isn't doing it anymore. He's not stealing bases anymore. He's not making people make mistakes when he's hopping around at third base. One of the reasons the Guardians aren't scoring runs is that they manufactured so many runs with their running game. Not
like the Browns.
Not like not like my 1-7 offense. But they would cause the teams to become frantic and make mistakes. And we're not seeing that this year because he has a hurt leg.
We lost Tony. Is he back in the studio somewhere? Or
I don't know.
Is he going away? Poor Tony the cow.
Yeah, but he's hurt. Kwan is playing with and they have acknowledged that he has a legitimate hamstring issue that has befallen him in the previous season, and that he is prone.
He's dead
to injuring that part of his body, and it just sounds like Lonnie Chisenhall kind of shit with the calf thing all over again. You know?
Oh.
Hey, look at that. We have a pest. Oh, you gotta love these guys. So at any rate, I thought as good a season as he's having, and he is doing a great job fielding his position like he always does. So there's that. So
the sports an interesting discussion. They were saying that the team is wasting Jose Ramirez's prime.
Well,
Too late for that.
He signed for the low money.
Yeah, he didn't want to leave, so it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're wasting. I mean, he could probably live. I don't think
He could
Jose's
play
not the
till
kind
50 anyway.
he's thrifty. I think that he's the kind of guy who could live on less. He's a true baseball player in the mold of a Pete Rose kind of guy who is really genuinely unlikable in a lot of ways. But he's just a damn good baseball player. I mean, this guy wasn't a third baseman when he came up. That wasn't the case.
No.
So,
well, at least like Pete Rose, he probably won't bet on games.
Well, maybe if he didn't make enough money, he's going to need to. I don't know, but he is a great player.
The Browns wasted Joe Thomas for all those years, so why not?
Yeah, well, and then there's Nolan Jones.
Jones.
We had him.
No relation to Nora Jones.
We gave him away. I don't know why he didn't come.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
So, from my perspective, they sent him off to Colorado. He hits 20 home runs, right? Yeah. Then he has a suck-worthy year in Colorado, and they get rid of him. Well, I don't know if you've looked at what's happening to the Rockies. They're 9-50 this year.
Yeah, I think Scotty Scheffler has more wins this month than the Rockies.
Yeah, I don't get it. How do you go 9-50? That's worse than the New York Mets of Casey Stengel's era.
I don't know.
But, Rick, you're absolutely right. No-show Jones. Well, it turns out that he was putting all kinds of pressure on himself. This is the story, Rick.
Stressing.
And he was over-analyzing everything.
Oh.
And so now, in his last several games, he's hitting line drives and hitting singles. And so this is how we got him, because he hit 20 home runs in thin air, literally, in Colorado. And we were figuring, he'll be a corner outfielder. He'll give us home runs, like we thought about Big Christmas, John Kenzie Noel. It's like all these guys that they're supposed to hit home runs. And now we find out that Lame Thomas is exactly that.
Yeah.
He is not coming back anytime soon because he's injured. And which is fine. I want to see Angel Martinez play more. Yeah. But it's really an amazing thing as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. It's just
they don't have any power. They don't have anybody. Stop and think. If you're a team that manufactures runs from, by running, and you get rid of Andre Jimenez and you end up with Schneemann. Schneemann isn't going to outrun anyone, is he?
No.
Gabriel Arias isn't going to outrun. He actually slid the other day. He actually slid. And I'm going, hey, there's progress. They're not. These people aren't going to go but one station to station. They're not even going to score from second on a goddamn single. They're not going to do it.
No.
So you're not seeing the Guardians thrown out at home plate. They're not running for it. They're not doing the same things they did last year because they don't even have the personnel to do that anymore. So unbelievable. So Nolan Jones now is like, well, I'm satisfied with hitting line drives. It's like, well, we'll see how long that lasts. And we're actually getting a decent season out of Carlos Santana at 39, 40 years of age.
Oh, he got some hits again.
Yeah, well, he has been hitting some, and
he's had hits and smooth, with that.
Hey, for an old guy, he's doing pretty damn good.
He is.
Are you saying we'd be better off with Davy Jones?
Yeah, Davy Jones. He's dead.
Cheer up, sleepy. Ah, my heart.
Oh, what can it be?
Do you know that Davy Jones died in a truck of a heart attack.
I think
Not
you
in
told
the
me that
locker,
story.
It's true.
That's
a true story. Down, yeah, he was in Florida. Yeah. And somebody walked by and said, "Hey, he was a monkey." Again, you just have to be there and my age to understand any of the shit.
They were the young generation. Now they're dead.
Yeah.
No, I believe me, I knew what you were getting at.
Yeah, but yeah, he died in a vehicle.
He died.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these dumbass Gen Zers. They're actually a lot more knowledgeable for my age.
And Michael Nesmith is dead.
Yeah, they're dead.
I mean, why?
So was
Mickey
Peter Tork.
Dolenz is still alive. What did Mickey Dolenz ever do?
I don't know.
Is that a bad
Take
thing?
the last train to Clarksville. He sang on some songs, but
He did.
yeah, he's still alive.
Is it a bad thing that he's still alive?
No, well, it's not. Neither. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. I mean, do you remember when it was like the Monkees are having their reunion tour? There was 4 of them, then there were 3 of them, then there were 2 of them. Then the 2 would change. You know, it was like, yeah, we're sorry to say that Peter Tork isn't going to be here, but you know, Davy Jones is going to be performing with Mickey Dolenz. You know, and Michael Nesmith will never be seen on stage again with them.
Wow.
So. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, Rick May knows his shit. He knows his shit. That great movie, Circus Boy. He was a child actor, as was Davy Jones.
He was.
AC/DC, not on their concert they just held, they changed their lyrics. Instead of "You shook me all night long," it's "You shook me till 8 o'clock."
Crickets.
Wow, that's crickets.
I just love doing that. Oh, it's like anytime the punchline, anytime now. No. I get what you're saying.
No,
So,
that was it.
Let me think if there's a funnier thing we can say about AC/DC being incredibly old. I don't think so.
Yeah. You're thunderstruck, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why they wear the pants, because they're thunderstruck in their pants.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to get myself caught up on stories here because there's. Oh, and so David Fry's coming back too.
No, Topaz,
not the impersonator, the player. These are old things.
Wasn't that Stan Freiberg? Or no, he dead too? I think.
God,
Charlie
Angus
Fry?
can't. Is Angus still playing?
What, Angus Young?
Yeah, is he? I mean, he can't be thrashing around like that.
So.
I mean, he's fossilized by now.
It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, though. He's 70 years old. He's not that.
Aerosmith has hung it up.
Well, Aerosmith hung it up a long time ago because Steven Tyler's throat. He can't sing anymore. He had some kind of a throat problem.
Yeah.
So does Mary Kay Cabbagehead.
It's getting better, though.
For somebody. Yeah, so David Fry at designated hitter. Doesn't that really make you feel great about things? Ed, do you want to know what makes it so great?
What's so great about it?
David Fry, who hit 263 last year, and the Guardians are saying, God, we need him.
Yeah.
He's going to become the designated hitter because he still isn't healed from his injury. He can only bat. He can't catch. He can't throw. He can't. All he can do is swing.
Lou Gehrig's disease or something.
Yeah. He's the luckiest
Indian or Guardian or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
In the background, it's like the beginning to that one Pink Floyd song. There's like a radio playing. You hear that?
Yeah, I do.
Hello.
It's like wish you were here.
Yeah. But David Fry, to me, you know what that's going to do?
What's that going to do?
It's going to take the bat out of Kyle Manzardo's hands. They're going to say, well, you're not going to be able to be a designated hitter anymore. You'll play first base sometimes, and sometimes he's going to get fewer at bats. Why would you do that to a young player?
I don't know.
You either want to develop them or you don't. What the hell?
I don't know.
Because they want to give more to Carlos Santana.
Yeah, he needs more hits.
Yeah, but this is kind of cool. You see, you can I can turn on and turn off the show comments on stage. So anybody who hello, truth shall set you free. How are you doing? So elbow surgery, reconstructive elbow surgery for David Fry, and they're going to sacrifice Kyle Manzardo for it. It makes me feel so damn good.
Is he like the Wicker Man? They're gonna put him in a cage and set fire to him.
And here's the bullshit of the Dolan family, right?
Yeah.
We don't have the pitching that we had. People saying, how come we're not as good as we were last year? Well, just take a look at Matthew Boyd.
Wow.
The Cubs got him. He's 5-2. He struck out 34 batters while walking only 2 this season. He has 64 strikeouts compared to only 15 walks. He's 5-2 on the year for the Cubs. A 2-year, $29 million deal is what it took to get him. And the Guardians wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole, and he was one of the reasons why we did well in the postseason.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of those guys that had a broken arm, didn't he? And we got him for nothing, and then he ended up.
That's the story. The one hit you get, it only lasts for a couple of starts, and they're never going to re-sign. It's just like the
Andrew
Pittsburgh
Miller
Pirates.
and all that.
We are the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's what we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're wondering where the 4 and 5 guys are. Well, they're gone because the Dolans wouldn't spend money on them. That's why they're helping other teams. And that's the problem. The starting pitching has been not good. Not good at all.
Well, they'll probably find some other broken down players that'll suddenly get 5 wins in August, and maybe they're out there somewhere.
I don't know. So before I get the hell out of here, does anybody want to say anything? David Talevsky, do you want to say anything? Just make sure it's not an AC/DC joke, okay?
It's not. I noticed, like, last week you had mentioned, like, when you were talking about the schedule, how the fact we got the Bills on it. Well, the reality is it's a 4-year rotation in terms of who you play. So you're playing every division in rotation of 4 years. I don't know if you knew that or not. Yeah.
No, I don't know shit. I actually don't know shit about the scheduling part of things. So that's a good point. But
yeah.
So every 4 years, you're saying we're going to have a miserable, horrible, hard schedule.
Well, it just depends on who you play.
No, we always play the teams that will beat the shit out of us. And that's what it amounts.
Yeah, like this year it's AFC East, NFC North. And then you get the 49ers and the Raiders in there. Yeah. And next year it'll be AFC South, NFC South, and probably NFC East road game, I think.
Yeah. So I guess from my perspective, the last thing that I wanted to say is, going to trade Darius Garland for fill in the blank. Well, look. The Cavaliers, the only thing that they can do is to cut ties with people who don't provide. I mean, a guy like, how can I hate to attack individual players. Isaac Okoro is too small. He's not going to help you defensively. and he is afraid to play offense.
Yeah.
Sam Merrill tries his heart out to play defense, but
he can't. He
looks
like Topaz out there running around, doesn't he? Yeah.
Don't say that.
Poor Topaz.
But
I've got a question for you. How's your basketball coming on? Are you still shooting?
I had to stop.
You had to stop. Huh?
No, the reason I had to stop is, first of all, there was all this cold weather, and I wasn't going to go out in that. Second of all, I did some exercises that strained my shoulders down in through here and the pectoral muscles, and I have been. That's the one thing I don't want to do is a shooting motion.
Lift your arms up. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I'll be back at it once I heal up. And today was 74 degrees. Hallelujah.
Well, I've got two very brief things to say. Let's give it up for the Indiana Pacers that nobody thought would get this far, except for them and maybe their coach. And then the other thing is, if you're thinking of, if anyone out there in Radio Land is thinking of coming to London to watch the Cleveland Browns, you better rob a bank, because the tickets are like over $200 for upper dog pound seats. So you might as well just stay at home and get them on StubHub for free when the team is so bad that people are giving away their tickets. So don't bother coming here.
So what was the thing you said before that?
About the Indiana Pacers.
The Pacers
are God.
Well, they're better than the Cavs, and they're better than the Knicks.
And they're better than the Celtics, and they're better than the Bucks.
But just think about Sam Merrill being on a court, and he has to be on the court at the same time as Mathurin.
Oh,
I mean, you're everyone talks about, well, the Pacers really, with Siakam, they don't really have height.
Well, imagine if we had Siakam instead of Jared Allen. That might have been a difference.
Well, Siakam's a scoring forward, and he's a guy who can get rebounds, but he's not. He's not being utilized. Being utilized in a system with it is real friendly, up and down, up and down, up and down, and they get a lot of rebounding action from guys like Neesmith and guys like Mathurin and who's the other?
Turner. Who's the other guy?
Turner.
Nembhard,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, those guards, including Halliburton and Mathurin, would just score at will against Sam Merrill.
Correct.
So it's a nice thing to have a guy who can gun the ball up from behind the arc if you're sharing the ball. But if Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, who are never going to change, they're going to hog the ball. No matter what Kenny Atkinson says or does,
that's what
they made it perfectly clear that you could win 64 games in a season and still ball hog when the game's on the line because you don't really trust your teammates. That's what it proved to me. And Indiana believed in their people and gave their people opportunities and said, have at it. If you're open, shoot the ball.
And the weird thing was the Knicks started playing better when Tibbs started playing his bench. That was like, whoa, what a concept. Who knew?
Yeah, go figure.
Here's the thing I'll say. I actually do think that the Pacers aren't going to lie down for the Thunder. And the Thunder in the playoffs have not shot the ball all that well.
Yeah, the Pacers have a chance. I wouldn't write them off.
Well, here's the thing. They both like to go up and down the floor in the sense that turnovers are a big part of how they get into transition.
Right, yeah.
And so the pressure that guys like Lou Dort and those players will, but they also
Caruso, the opera singer.
Yeah. But they do have a guy like Chet Holmgren who is legitimately tall and mobile at the same time. And you wonder, can Mathurin continue to put up 18 points a night? You wonder with who is going to. I mean, right now it looks like a dream season for the Pacers. It really does.
Yeah.
But it also looks like a dream season for the Thunder. And I like both teams, and I think that the two best teams are playing in the finals, which is
they both deserve to be there.
All you can ask for.
Yeah,
that's all you can ask for. But the Cavaliers are not in a position
to challenge
to hold on to people like Sam Merrill or like Isaac Okoro. And there's two extremes of people. Well, trade Darius Garland for a bag of marbles, or they're the other guys. It's like, we have to be loyal to them and we got to give them one more year. And it's like, fuck that shit. You got to do what's best for the team.
The local news actually showed some type of hypothetical scenario that one of the sports reporters showed that the Cavs should get Cooper Flag.
Oh,
a rebuild. The kinds of stupidity that you had. The Cavaliers are in no position to rebuild from scratch.
Their idea is to make a big three of Cooper Flag, Mobley, and Garland.
What, and trade Mitchell? That's insane.
Yeah, trade Mitchell and Allen.
That's insanity.
I mean, it's. I agree that Allen's got to go. He can't take care of his business. He just can't. He'll be really dominant looking for a few games, then he just fades back into what he is, which is a dork who likes to play video games or read certain types of books or whatever the fuck. And he's just not a physical player.
And the whole thing about him playing every game of the season didn't help him either. I don't think.
I mean, I would rather that you play 70 games and play them hard and well.
Exactly.
I mean, again.
Yeah, exactly.
Lou Gehrig played 2,130
And look what
games.
happened to him. He's dead now. He's dead.
What
He's
does it
not
mean?
coming back.
And he was the luckiest man in the world. And I don't think Jared Allen is
luckier than Lou Gehrig. No, he's not as lucky.
But I think what the Cavaliers need to do is they have to get more physical. Sam Merrill is not fast enough. The Cavaliers are not fast enough for where this league's going. You take a look at who's in the finals here, and you look at who they defeated. I mean, the Knicks couldn't run up and down the floor. You want to know who was totally non-present for the Knicks?
Who was non-present?
Josh Hart. He was a total non-factor.
He died.
You saw their age catching up to them, and they were just being run up and down the court. And that's what happened to the Cavaliers, too. Cavaliers need faster people, and it's not just the speed. Darius Garland, if he's healthy, has a good burst in him, but he's never going to work out in a gym. He's never going to get stronger. And he's not going to grow, of course. And you take a look at Halliburton at 6'5", Nesmith at 6'5", Nembhard at 6'5", but they're vertical. And they have long wingspans. They play defense and they get out on the break.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man.
The Cavaliers, they're not a championship team, and they will not be in my lifetime. They had a great season, but they could not impose themselves when they needed to in the playoffs.
You need to say that with the John Houseman voice. Impose yourself on the room. Yes. Cavaliers.
No, I can tie it together. Your paper chase reference.
Yes.
And the New York Knicks. All right?
Okay.
Mr. Hart.
Well done.
You didn't show up.
Here's a quarter. Here's a dime. Phone your mother and say you're never going to be a basketball player.
It's funny. This
so
show
he looked like Torrey Hart.
But
That's
they surrendered.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, but this is what keeps my mind young while my body is falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, the program is good. And here's Topaz the Wolf. He's putting
snouting. He's snouting you.
He's
not doing a Mary Kay, is he?
No. That's not funny, Mark. That's not funny at all. Oh, God. So at any rate, thanks, David. Thanks.
No problem.
And thank you, Mr. Moose. And
Tony, wherever you are.
And Tony the cow, sorry.
And all your new friends from Kick.com who want you to spend money.
Hi, friend. You know, it reminds me of like a series of who are the religious people who come to your door? Jehovah Witnesses. Yeah. Hi, friend.
Hi, friend.
Get the fuck off my porch. Yeah, you just go Clint Eastwood on them. That would just be
One of my coworkers said if they ever come to his door, he's playing the one song by Megadeth. I think it was Mark of the Beast or something.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's a good idea. I'll have to remember that. Yeah. So now I'm looking at this, and how do I turn off?
I don't know.
I could see it before.
Turn on, turn off, drop out. Timothy Leary.
All these little side comments. That's very interesting. At any rate, thanks everybody for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. They keep adding things onto StreamYard, and they don't tell me about them. They just show up one day. And I'm left to my own devices, which when you have hooves instead of hands,
I love that they do their testing in production, which is what it seems.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fantastic way to run an IT.
We're all living a beta. That's what it amounts to.
Do your testing in production.
But everybody take care. Enjoy your evenings. I'll be back again on Friday to talk more sports on Moohead Radio. Yeah,
to talk about.
Well, I mean, but with 78
there
degrees,
might be a basketball game, but I think that's Friday night. Or what day is it? The 5th of June, the next basketball game.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't keep track of that shit. And the Guardians don't play tonight, so I'll just be, you'll
be just on your own with Topaz and Mrs. Moo and all that.
What I'm going to do, because, I need to get exercise.
Get your hand. The luckiest hand. My hand is the luckiest hand on the face of the earth. Hello. Topo Ciccio.
I am the luckiest hand in the world.
No, is he asking when game 1 is?
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Thursday night. Oh, we'll have something to talk about because I will watch it.
So what I'm doing is resistance exercises to try to get the shoulder stuff.
It's futile.
So I'm going to have Mary Kate. That'll be great for resistance. Thanks everybody for tuning in. See you again Friday. Until then. Hasta la vista, past your heads. Good night.
And bye, friends from Kick.com.